You don't know when that's at. I will use this to my advantage. Can you track me? Can you see us? We have ALBION combination, PEEKABOO 1-2-1. A high mid combo, one of the fastest options out of PEEKABOO stance, with the PEEKABOO 1 coming out at 12 frames. This is your fastest option out of PEEKABOO stance when you want to reach for a button before your opponent. It's a high mid combo that on the third hit launches on counter hit. This is a popular combination for Steve and one that should be used heavily. Not only is it the fastest, but it introduces the threat of a third option that will counter hit, causing hesitation frames in your opponent. To those that know and to those that do not know, can introduce a launch opportunity. Keep that in mind. Those that know about this will respect these first two hits and won't be so hasty about hitting the third one, allowing you to further your mix-up. This is a pinnacle piece of PEEKABOO stance. Next, we have Spike Hook, PEEKABOO 2. A very important part of Steve's arsenal, as this is a 14 frame tracking high pretty fast. If you look at the flavor text up at the top, it mentions that it has a punch parry effect, as well as it puts you back in PEEKABOO stance. So we have our tracking move, that's pro number 1, and pro number 2 is that it's 14 frames, which is pretty fast. And the third positive is that it's a punch parry move, or what we call a SABAKI Parry. A SABAKI Parry is an offensive move that can be utilized defensively if it predicts the correct move. For instance, if we have the opponent to punish a jab, we're going to put the opponent down forward 1 whenever they get hit on block. So if we hit them with a PEEKABOO 1-2, we can set them up for this. If they delay and they're not sure what we're going to do and they go down forward, we can go PEEKABOO 1-2 and then proceed with Spike Hook, PEEKABOO 2, and they would then be SABAKI parried, where we can then follow up with a down back 2, a down 1+2, or a back 2. Very strong move out of PEEKABOO. You'll find that the stronger you get as a Steve player, the more often you'll find yourself instantly going into this stance manually, as opposed to awaiting for a transition. Steve is a rather scrappy character who does not have access to the strongest lows, so there's no real reason to respect Steve's lows. He has some of the best highs and some okay lows. So you'll find that a lot of times your opponent will be ducking in front of you. So I found it beneficial to go into manual PEEKABOO a lot more often in my matches, especially after setting up a jab offense. Definitely like and sub this video if I provide any tips that are beneficial to you. Don't forget to drop a like and sub for your boy. Trying to grow the realm out here, Steve brethren. Let's get the realm out to 100 subs. Patella smash. PEEKABOO down 1. Very important move that you'll be using a lot as a Steve player. This is your main pressure low from PEEKABOO stance that you'll be mixing up with your fast highs. So your PEEKABOO offense to those that are standing, and those whose standing offense you would like to break, you would hit them with Patella smash. If they're just insistent on blocking the entire time, we can transition into PEEKABOO and start working their ankles. At 15 frames, it's pretty low standing. This move will evade jabs. We'll put the opponent on punish. So we'll have the opponent respond with a jab whenever they're hit. So for opponents that respond high, this move will crush their high. So it'll crush jabs and allow you to continue your offense. This move is 15 frames. It's +2 on hit, making the follow-up one 13 frames. And you also see in the flavor text it referencing full crouch down forward 1 shifting in the peekaboo. As patella smash and full crouch down forward 1 share the same frames. It's a compact low, allows us to continue offense in peekaboo as it automatically shifts back to it, and can essentially cause the opponent to retaliate with a low crushing attack, or will crouch in an attempt to block or parry this move, opening them up for your ARGOS rush. So this is the low that opens the standing block opponent up. This is your weapon against opponents who are turtling and who seem to stand block more often than not. 10 count, peekaboo 1+2. It's a 1+2 break grab that provides 45 damage when thrown. This throw is extremely strong and it comes out at 11 frames, as you can see. So this is the strongest throw that we have outside of clinch 2. Extremely strong option, leaves the opponent 90 degrees approximately when the throw is broken. So it's good to just throw out, leaves them at exactly range or about range 2.5 to 3 on break. With that, range 2.5, perfect range for a rocket launcher. 49 damage in rage, extremely strong towards the end of the game and during the middle of the game for chipping away health. 45 damage is pretty significant. So pro number 1, the damage, it's extremely strong. Pro number 2 is the break range. Leaves the opponent at range 2.5 and about 90 degrees, so it's good for getting out of a situation. Like for example, if you're in the corner, it could be beneficial to just throw out 10 count. We set up a situation where we're at the wall and we're trying to gain our offense back. We're jabbing. Yeah, that tracks both sides. And we're trying to get out the corner. A jab, a sidestep block, an attempt to grab. And already we are at advantage position wise, so we can keep the advantage and the pressure just by doing a simple jab and grab. Very strong. And the third is that it gives a mix-up option, being predictable and just throwing constant 1-2s to set up your spite hook. We can mix that up with a grab that they have to stay awake for, so they just can't autopilot duck or autopilot block our offense until we're finished. We give them something else to worry about. ARGOS rush. He can be down forward 1-1-2 is a mid high string for peekaboo, where if the opponent tries to respond in between the string, it will become fully natural. The string is not natural on hit. You can see only 2 hits are natural. The benefits of this string is that peekaboo down forward 1 and down forward 1-1 are arguably some of the strongest mids out of this stance. With peekaboo down forward 1 coming out at 15 frames, it's not too fast. However, it's our fastest mid option out of the string to mix up with our high offense to discourage the opponent from crouching. So far with peekaboo 1-2 and peekaboo 2, they're both high. And the grab, the 10 count grab, is also high. Peekaboo down forward 1 is delayable in nature, so it can catch the opponent slipping or catch the opponent trying to press a button. Peekaboo down forward 1-1 is really strong to mix up with peekaboo down 1 and peekaboo 1-2, as well as peekaboo forward 1+2. The strength in ARGOS rush is in its delayability. This move is extremely delayable in all links of the chain. We can delay and do down forward 1-1. You can see down forward 1-1. One, we can press that extremely late. So with just those two alone, if we set the opponent to punish, just like a real scenario, if we did not know when the opponent was going to try to get us out of this, we'll have the opponent block the first hit and then retaliate with the jab. So down for one, they jab, right? So down for 1-1, they get hit. Counter due to the move's delayability. So we're trying to fish for a counter hit. Our opponent is very patient. We don't know when they're gonna press a button. They respond with a jab, we can respond with that. We're not sure, we delay that. And the second they get counter hit with the second mid, then the entire string is guaranteed. So if we're poking, PEEKABOO down for 1, we get the opponent pressing button on counter hit. You see the counter hit in the window on the bottom left hand corner. You get that second hit counter hit, the whole string goes through and it does 48 damage. Not only that, we get a guaranteed down back 2, resulting in an additional 16 damage. And it also grants a guaranteed down 1+2, giving you 60 damage. Lancaster combination. PEEKABOO back 1-1-2-1. Mid-high, mid-mid string. And if you hold back on the last mid, it will transition into flicker stance. That is one benefit of this move, is that this is one of the only ways of note to go between PEEKABOO and flicker stance directly. If you want to go from flicker to PEEKABOO, you do something like flicker 1 and spin into PEEKABOO. The second high, or the place where you can duck this move, is the second attack. So this one is a lot tougher to counterplay. If your opponent is aware of Steve's strings, they'll have to duck that second high pretty fast. If they try to duck the third hit, then the last hit is guaranteed and it'll send them to the wall. So this string is pretty useful at the wall when you don't know if your opponent's gonna press a button. If the last 2 hits, then there'll be wall splat and we're granted with a wall combo. If they block the last 2 hits, then we are in flicker on only -3 and we are safe, as flicker stance will auto block highs and mids for us, one of the benefits of this stance. So benefit number 1, Lancaster combination, or PEEKABOO back 1-1-2-1 is one of the only ways to transition from PEEKABOO to flicker stance, where it is essentially our safe string or our safe stance. If the second hit is a counter hit, or if any part of the string is a counter hit, then all 3 are guaranteed and will wall splat the opponent, resulting in a full wall combo. This is a great move.